Okay, let's look at question 6, BT Property Trust. Okay, so kita tengok dulu soalan dia. Okay, jap Alright, so dia bagi BT REITs, ada several types of real estate, ada office, apartment, and also hotel buildings. And then the question gave us the P&L of BT property. Okay, so kalau you tengok dia punya profit or loss statement, ada dia senaraikan income, lepas tu expenditure, as well as the income from operation. And the first part of the question, we need to determine the total income. Alright, so nak kena cari total income. Okay, apa yang kita nak buat dulu? First thing first, kita tengok dekat kita ambil profit before tax. So this one is given to you. Ambil je terus letak dekat sini 17,785. This one should be no problem. After that, we're going to deduct or less non-business income. Okay, so kita akan cari semua income or revenue yang tak ada kaitan dengan business. For REITs, dia buat business rental of property. So rental tu dikira sebagai business income. Okay, let's look at one by one. Mula-mula sekali kita ada net rental income 17,000. So we know that rental is a business income for REITs. Therefore here just put nil. Okay, sebab kita nak tolak non-business income. Rental is business income. Therefore, no adjustment needed. Okay, next kita ada interest income from bond simpanan nasional 200,000. So, interest income is not considered as business income. Therefore, here we need to deduct 200,000 for interest. Lagi kita ada realized loss on disposal of quoted share. So this one is realized loss. So here dia sepatutnya jadi expenses lah. I pun tak tahu kenapa dia nak letak dekat income. But then maybe dia nak test you whether you know or not that realized loss is an expenses. So tinggalkan dulu. Ataupun kita nak go just straight. Realized loss on disposal of quoted share 1,500. So kita tahu dia adalah expenses. And for this part, we're going to add non-allowable expenses. Kita ada realized loss on sales of quoted share. So berkaitan dengan share, nothing to do with real property. It is not a business expenses. So nak kena add back 1,500. Okay, lagi kat sini next kita ada gross dividend single tier. So dividend is income but it is not a business income. We going to less 150,000 for dividend. Okay, so far so good. Kita teruskan lagi. Okay, bagi kali lain pula. Untuk expenditure, okay, besar sikit. First kali kita ada manager salary. So manager salary, of course lah dia dapat salary because dia manage the business. Manager salary is considered as business expenses, nil. Next one, professional fees. Dalam kurungan, question does specifically mention all deductible, meaning that all these incurred wholly and directly in the productions of business income. So, professional fee pun nil. Lagi, kita ada, I terskipkan trustee fee 100,000. Untuk trustee fee, since trustee menguruskan trust, kan? Dia bukan menguruskan business. Therefore, trustee fee is not deductible, non-allowable. We going to add back 100,000. Seterusnya, kita tengok dia bagi dekat kita telephone and stationery all deductible. All deductible maksudnya business expenses semua boleh tolak, nil, no adjustment needed. Ada lagi tak? Provision for unrealized loss on revaluation of quoted shares written back. Sepanjang-panjang tu kan. Okey, so kalau tengok mula-mula kat sini, dia ada buat provision. Maksudnya, these REITs ada make some allowance that mungkin bila dia buat revaluation of their quoted share, dia mungkin ada loss. The value of dia punya share tu mungkin dah decrease bila dia buat revaluation. So, dia buat estimation. Okay, provision. But then, actually sebenarnya bila dia buat that revaluation tak ada pun loss tu tak berlaku pun. That's why kat sini dia ada tulis return back. Maksudnya kalau you nak senang faham, dia macam konsep bad debt and doubtful debt. Kalau kita ada penghutang, kita ada debtors, so we make an allowance. Maybe some of them will be unable to repay back the debt. So, kita buat provision for doubtful debt. Bila you buat provision for doubtful debt, you akan letak dia sebagai expenses. Kan? Sebab you estimate ada beberapa of our account receivable yang tak mampu bayar balik. Dia akan jadi belanja. However, bila that account receivable bayar balik hutang tadi tu, dia akan jadi bad debt recovered. Kan? So, bad debt recovered is a kind of revenue. Sebab masa awal-awal, bila you write off bad debt, itu dikira sebagai expenses. Tapi bila penghutang bayar balik, dia jadi hutang lapuk terpulih or bad debt recovered. Bad debt recovered is a revenue. Same goes here. BT ni dia buat provision yang dia mungkin ada unrealized loss on revaluation. However, benda tu dia write back. Mula-mula this one is going to be dia punya expenses, tapi tak jadi return back. So this one is revenue. Bila revenue, kita ada revenue sebanyak 2,000. So dia akan letak dekat sini. You nampak tak ni? Revaluation, provision for unrealized loss, return back yang ni. Yang ni. Okay. So, I tolak negative 2,000 here. Kenapa nak kena tolak? Sebab kita nak tolak non-business income. And provision for unrealized loss, return back ni, dia berlaku bila you jual beli saham, share. Bukannya you jual beli ataupun sewakan real property. Nothing to do with the business. That's why dia jadi non-business income. Tolak 2,000 kat sini. Okay. Alright. Next, ada lagi. Revaluation surplus. So, kat sini kita ada dapat duit sebanyak 5,000. Revenue sebanyak 5,000. Coming from revaluation surplus. So, sama macam konsep tadi, dia mungkin income sebab dia revenue, tapi dia tak ada kaitan dengan business, tak ada kaitan pun dengan rental of real property. Okay, so kat sini kita akan tolak negatif 5,000. Alright, lagi seterusnya we have interest expenses 1,500. Interest expenses, since dia letakkan bawah income from operation, I'm going to assume that this is business expenses. Interest yang berlaku berkaitan dengan business ni, business of BT Property Trust. So, since I punya assumption interest expenses tu is business expenses, it is all allowable. Kat sini I letak sebagai nil. Okay. Settle everything, net profit before tax, I tolak dengan non-business income and I add non-allowable expenses. Then we will arrive at adjusted business income. Sebanyak ni lah 12,000. 35 ataupun sebenarnya juta lah kan, sebab dia bagi dekat kita ni dalam million. 12,35,000. And untuk dapatkan statutory business income, kita akan tolak CA or IBA. But since this question tak bagi tahu pun pasal CA, tak adalah kosong. Ada dapat cari I punya statutory business income. Belum habis lagi, since we going to add back other income. Income yang tak ada kaitan dengan business. Here, in this question, ada dua tadi. First kali I ada interest 200,000, tapi dia kata interest tu dapat daripada bond simpanan Malaysia. This interest is listed in Schedule 6, therefore exempted. Next one, kita ada pula dividen 150,000. So dividend in Malaysia starting YA 2008, we employ single tier dividend system. Single tier dividend system also is exempted. Okay, dapatlah cari kita punya aggregate income or so called the total income for BT Property Trust. Some of you might wonder, kenapa kita tak add back dekat other income ni, kenapa kita tak add back provision for unrealized loss as well as dengan revaluation. Sorry, merah pula. Okay, tukar-tukar, tak nampak. Alright, kita ambil color kuning. Okay, kita ada provision for unrealized loss dengan revaluation surplus. Kenapa kita tak tambah dua ni dekat other income ni? So jawapan dia, provision is not an income. You just buat estimation sahaja. Duit bukan betul-betul masuk kan. Sama macam revaluation surplus. It is non-cash item. Dia kalau accounting will recognize as revenue. But for taxation, revaluation surplus is not considered as income. Dia adalah capital gain. Therefore, tak masuklah bawah other income. Okay? So hopefully you have a clear understanding on how to tackle the question for BT Property Trust. Okay, the second part of the question, dia suruh you explain income tax treatment for each of the following item. So dia nak tax treatment untuk net rental income. Okay, so what you need to explain is you should say that net rental income is treated as business income untuk REITs. The operating expenses is allowable for deduction, but it will be restricted to the amount of gross rental income. If there are excess of expenses over income, dia takkan jadi current year business loss, dia akan jadi sebagai permanent loss and cannot be carried forward. Okay, next, interest income. How are we going to treat interest income received by REITs? So, mula-mula sekali, you akan kena bagi tahu interest income is not considered as business income. So, dia bukan business income. Dia adalah investment income. Thus, the amount should be deducted in arriving at adjusted business income. That's why, masa awal-awal tu, kita ada net profit before tax, kita tolak dengan non-business income. Kita tolak dulu interest tu, sebab interest bukan business income. However, this income is exempted and will not be included in the total income. So, dekat atas tu kita dah tolak. Tapi, bila dah sampai bahagian bawah, kita nak tambah dekat other income tu, kita tahu interest tu dia dapat daripada bond simpanan nasional. So, this income is exempted. Okay. So, nampak tak cara explanation dia? Mula-mula you cerita dulu kenapa dekat the upper part kita tolak. While dekat bottom part tu, bahagian bawah tu tambah balik, tapi nilai dia exempted. Okay, make sure your explanation is clear. Next, kita tengok dividend income pula. Dividend income sama treatment macam interest tadi. Dividend income is not considered as business income. Thus, amount should be deducted in arriving at adjusted business income. Tolak dulu, tapi dekat bawah tambah balik. However, since single tier dividend, kita akan bagi dia exemption in arriving at total income. Last one, question minta you explain berkenaan manager salary and trustees fee. So, manager salary is treated as business expenses sebab dia incurred wholly and exclusively. So, tengok betul-betul ayat tu. Wholly and exclusively in the production of business income. No adjustment required. However, untuk trustee fee, it is non-allowable since it incurred after the production of business income. Hence, it needs to be added back. Okay, so make sure your explanation is clear. Dia tanya pasal 2, manager salary tu 1, kenapa boleh tolak, and second one, trustee fee, kenapa kita add back. Alright, so last kali, the last part of the question, dia cerita sekarang BT Property Trust is having 2 option, sama ada nak distribute 10 juta ataupun 11.5 juta of its total income for the YA 2015. So, dia tanya dekat kita, explain tax implication kalau dia distribute 10 juta and apa jadi in term of tax kalau dia distributes on 11.5 juta. So, untuk this question, you kena calculate dulu. Alright. Kalau dia distribute 10 juta, kita kira 10 juta over total income, kita dah kira in part A tadi, 12.35 ribu tu, kita akan dapat percentage dia sebanyak 83.09%. But, kalau BT Property Trust distribute 11.5 million over 12 million 35,000, kita akan dapat 95.6%. Okay, so you kena bagi tahulah apakah implication dia, assuming that BT Property Trust ni adalah listed REITs. Okay, listed REITs, always state your assumption. Listed REITs, kalau distribute only 10 million, dia akan chargeable to tax at 24%. The reason why, because of the distribution to unit holders is less than 90% of its total income. Meanwhile, on the other hand, kalau dia distribute 11.5 juta, the company will be exempted from income tax. So, tak payah bayar tax because the distribution exceed 90% of total income. Tapi kena state lah, kita assume that BT Property Trust ni is a listed REITs. Barulah dia boleh dapat this exemption kalau dia distribute lebih daripada 90% of its total income pada tahun tersebut. Okay, hopefully this guided illustration will make yourself more clear on question regarding REITs.